4. Pricing. Necessary ineffective labor. Financial literature. One of the biggest characteristics of Ming is irrational prosperity, which includes a large number of investment failures and currency evaporation. It is these essential ineffective labor that achieve irrational prosperity. Acceleration of factor integration. That is, under the combined effect of globalization and informatization, the process of financial transactions are compressed. Efficiency is greatly improved, and the speed of factor integration is unprecedented, resulting in unimaginable scale and effects. Cognitive differences have become an important variable affecting financial activities. That is, different cognitive levels and abilities determine the status and destiny of countries, enterprises and individuals in financial civilization. If they are misled by conspiracy theory and take this as an action model, their future can be imagined. The foundation of this axiology comes from the formula of economic globalization plus market economy system equal money surplus. That is, the exchange-oriented market economy itself is a system of producing surplus money, and globalization has enhanced the ability to produce surplus money. The surplus money provides a prerequisite for the independence of currency transactions from the real economy, creating a currency as the trading object, and carrying out capitalization, securitization, marketization and internationalization upgrading, and ultimately, it will free from the constraints of traditional media, happily generate money, and create a new economic model of economic prosperity and prosperity. However, this perfect process has been embedded with the original sin of marketization from the beginning. Just like the original sin of agricultural civilization is the original sin of land concentration and industrial civilization is resource monopoly, the original sin of information civilization is information overflow, and the original sin of financial civilization is currency surplus and evaporation. Although Greenspan and Bernanke believed that there was a problem in the market, the media believed that it was the result of excessive morality, financial innovation and unfavorable government regulation. Soros believed that it was the result of market fundamentalism, and Europeans believed that there was a problem with capitalism and liberalism. They almost invariably ignored the fact that the original sin of the market overproduction and the fact that the surplus currency lost its anchor of stability. Moreover, there is a lack of insight into the commodification attributes of currency. Currency has long surpassed traditional attributes such as exchange, circulation, and storage, and has become the world's most important trading product. The amount of capital trade is hundreds of times as that of real economy trade. As a commodity, it must follow general laws, and it is difficult to escape the cycle of economic crisis. The fate of capital injection and other forms. By the end of the year, the market value of China's investment fund had exceeded trillion yuan, which was only trillion yuan a year ago. That is to say, the development in 1 year is twice that of last year's total. Statistics also show that in The number of investors opening accounts in the Shanghai and Shenzhen stock markets reached 1,000, with an average of over 10,000 accounts per trading day. In the context of global liquidity surplus, the opportunity for concentrated release has finally emerged, with the accumulation of years of sustained high-speed growth energy in the national economy, enhanced profitability of enterprises, appreciation energy of RMB, and enhanced international competitiveness. Although facts have proved that the soaring stock index and the instantaneous expansion of market value are unsustainable, both the number and scale of institutional investors such as investment fund, QFII, QDII, and hundreds of millions of individual investors, as well as the equivalent of financial assets accounting for half of the stock market, and the degree of securitization of state-owned assets indicate that China's economy is undergoing sustainable and irreversible structural changes, and the capital market is becoming the country one of the most important wealth investment and management platforms for enterprises and the people, shifting from excessive reliance on bank savings to the capital market. China is entering an exciting great era from the commodity era, the era of capital finance, socialist market economy, and then the Th national congresses put forward equal enjoyment of national treatment. This is just a document. Ownership superstition has become the main obstacle to the transformation of national motivation, as it prevents the country from directly participating in the economy and competing for the interests of the people, and also provides opportunities for departmental interests to the representative functional departments of the national machinery, hindering the upgrading of the national version. The coexistence and common development of multiple forms of ownership is the economic foundation for achieving political power differentiation, and also the basis for effectively defining the power and responsibility of the state, society, and individuals. The awkwardness of the non-public articles has already proven the predicament of private capital. In view of this, the most committed step of the purification of national motivation came on the scene, which is the most controversial: judicial independence. It is precisely because of the above problems that the motivation of judicial independence is doubted. The biggest mistake is the understanding of the concept of the state. So far, the analysis in this paper shows that the state has gone beyond the scope of the class conflict violence machine and represents the general concept of all the people. In this case, judicial independence has become a means of balancing various functional departments within the state machine. Instead of being independent of the state machine, it threatens the operation of the state machine itself and brings endless internal strife, increases transaction costs, and reduces the efficiency of the state machine. So if a country breaks away from the superstition of ownership, it will not hinder the implementation of the principles of fairness and justice due to its own interests. It will also make mutual checks and balances within the state machinery, such as judicial independence, inevitable, and the state's motives will not be distorted and become the cause of conflicts of interest. The foundation of a harmonious society can only be considered settled. The financial crisis has not yet bottomed out, but no one mentions currency wars anymore, as they are considered war dollars in the book The Murderous and behind-the-scenes Wall Street tycoons died before they got out, while most of the survivors sold themselves to the government, were denationalized, and even did transsexual surgery to return to the bank to survive. The expected market of painful shearing by the crisis did not happen, which made people obsessed with explaining the financial crisis with conspiracy theory very frustrated. Did investment banks die of mass suicide? Just as currency war itself is a specious rumor strung together with bizarre conspiracies, even such a book is rumored to be a copycat version because the original version comes from the United States. However, the views in the book perfectly match the needs of those who have suffered heavy losses due to misjudgment of the situation, as dressing themselves as victims of uncertainty is more likely to gain sympathy. Therefore, as soon as this book was published, it was highly sought after and appeared at high-level financial seminars, serving as a shield against pressure. However, with the passage of time, the currency war has no effect on the overall situation, and it is still not eloquent enough to be used for casual conversation after meals. The essence of the financial crisis is money surplus, but in the conspiracy theory, money can be controlled unilaterally and completely. The 6 major families behind the U.S. government and the Federal Reserve control the situation, using cunning tactics to influence currency flows and earn large amounts of money, in order to achieve their goals by killing people and Buddha. However, the most fatal flaw of this logic is that the government and the 6 major families do not have the control they expected. They may have controlled the currency within the banking system. Once the currency flows out, it is not only difficult to track but also repeatedly transforms into capital and hot money. What is even more terrifying is that during this process the scale of the currency continues to expand. The expansion ability continues to improve, and speculative models are extensively replicated, creating a vast amount of money, book assets or liabilities registered on the balance sheets of financial institutions are in reality dependent on the price of resources and assets. The contradiction between the leveraged expansion of monetary capital and the limitation of the price rise of assets and resources will automatically close positions under the law of value. Obviously, this is the original sin of self-expansion and self-evaporation in finance. So on the one hand, the runaway of currency falsify the possibility of a holistic and long-term monetary conspiracy. On the other hand, the automatic liquidation of currency has falsified the possibility of a century-long and shocking conspiracy. Of course, it is not ruled out.